Tonight, we uncover a silent and deadly threat lurking in our food supply. Dioxins, toxic chemicals from industrial processes, are invisible and insidious, now closer to home than you might think. These toxins accumulate in the food we eat, seeping into nursing mothers and passing to their infants. The impact is alarming. Increased risks of cancer, developmental issues, and compromised immune systems. How safe is your food? How protected is your child? Join us as we expose the hidden dangers of dioxin, exposure, and how to safeguard your family's health.
Good morning everyone, with me Zek.
And with me Aisha, live from the BBC news station.
Our top headlines on today's news is dioxins, global crisis on how dioxins in foods endanger nursing mothers and infants worldwide.
We have our reporter Yasmin live on the scene to bring us the latest updates. Yasmin, what can you tell us about the current situation?
Thank you Zaid and Aisha. Signing in as reporter Yasmin from BBC News. In a recent study, researchers have uncovered a startling threat lurking in the foods we consume daily. A class of chemicals compounds known as dioxin, posing a significant risk to nursing mothers and their infants. Dioxins, a group of chemically related compounds that are persistent environmental pollutants, have been detected at concerning levels in various foods. These toxins, often byproducts of industrial processes such as waste, incineration, and pesticide manufacturing, accumulate in the fatty tissues of animals and consequently enter the human food chains. Today, I'm going to interview a mother and her son that are affected by dioxin exposure. Let's go. Good morning, Madam Fazira. Thank you for agreeing to speak with me today. Can you start by telling us a little about yourself and your experience with dioxin exposure?
Okay. My name is Fazura. So I have lived in this community for over 30 years, and I was exposed to dioxins about 10 years ago when a factory was built nearby for industrial activities.
Oh, that sounds terrible. Could you explain what the causes are and how it has affected your life?
Dioxins are harmful chemical compounds that can be released into environment through various industrial activities such as chemical manufacturing, paper bleaching, and also waste incineration. On top of that, I bought foods that unknowingly contain dioxin too. Personally, I started having irregular periods and hormonal issues that I never experienced before, not long after the factory was built. But the real heartbreak came after my son was born. He began to show signs of developmental delays and had frequent infections. Thank you.
Could you care to explain more about how dioxin impacted your son?
During my pregnancy, I never imagined something invisible could harm my baby so deeply. Dioxins, which are toxic chemicals found in many foods, can pass from mother to baby during pregnancy and through breast milk. That's why my son is like this now. He struggled with learning disabilities and attention deficits. His immune system seemed weak and he often fell ill. Watching him struggle was very devastating. As I brought him to the doctor, it came to light that my son was actually affected by dioxin. The doctor explained to me that the infants are particularly vulnerable to dioxin exposure. During pregnancy, these toxins cross the placenta and accumulating in fetal tissues. This exposure can lead to birth defects, and a range of neurological, immunological, and also metabolic problems. I felt helpless. I wanted to give him the best start in life, but unknowingly, I was passing these toxins to him. These developmental issues and frequent illness were a constant worry.
So, I want to introduce you to my son. This is Zikri. Look at him now. Zikri, look at the camera. Say hi.
Hi.
What's your name? What's your name?
Zek.
I'm very sorry to hear Zach, and nice to meet you, Zikri. Thank you, Madam Fazura, for sharing with us, as your story may be a platform to raise awareness. Every bit of attention helps in our fight for justice and better health for all affected by dioxin exposure. Proceeding to the queue. Besides this case, there are few cases of dioxin contamination and exposure cases reported from another country. Germany reported that animal feed had been contaminated with dioxins, affecting thousands of farms. The contamination was linked to the use of industrial fats that were illegally mixed with animal feed. This led to dioxins entering the food chain, primarily through eggs, poultry, and pork. A similar case too has been reported in South Korea, where there are high levels of dioxins in beef from Gyeonggi province. The contamination was linked to the use of illegal feed additives. Aside from poultry's contamination, the usual incident in 1968 in Japan involved the contamination of the rice bran oil with PCBs and dioxin. People who consumed the contaminated oil suffered from a range of symptoms known as usual disease, including skin lesions, liver damage, and immune system suppression. This case underscored the dangers of industrial contamination of food products. So, we go back to Aisha and Zach.
Thank you, reporter Yasmin. So after this, we're going to further these discussions about causes, effects, and solutions on dioxin exposure on foods towards nursing mother and infants worldwide.
Good evening, folks. In today's world, where environmental awareness is on the rise, there's one group of chemical causing significant concern: dioxin. These toxic compounds, prevalent in various industrial processes such as waste incineration, chemical production, and paper bleaching, have infiltrated our food chain, posing serious risks to human health. Dioxins, including the highly toxic TCDD, are persistent and resistant to degradation, making them a long-lasting threat that's tough to eliminate. What makes dioxins particularly tricky is their ability to accumulate in animal fats. This means they end up concentrated in animal-derived products like meat, dairy, fish, and shellfish, which are the major sources of exposure for people across different regions and populations. And it's not just their presence in food that's concerning. Dioxins can stick around in the environment, building up in organisms over time and becoming more concentrated at higher levels of the food chain. So, even those of us far from industrial areas can still be exposed to significant levels of dioxin through contaminated food. Given the widespread distribution of dioxins and their potential to harm vulnerable groups like nursing mothers and infants, it is clear that coordinated and comprehensive action is needed to address this global health threat.
Dioxin exposure is a serious concern for nursing moms with long-term effects on their reproductive health and overall well-being. These toxins not only cause immediate health issues, but also have long-term impacts on reproductive health. Dioxins have been strongly linked to problems such as menstrual irregularities, infertility, and conditions like endometriosis, making it harder for women to conceive and maintain a healthy pregnancy. The effects of dioxins on hormone balance further exacerbate these issues, leading to disruptions in menstrual cycles and fertility that affect women globally. Moreover, prolonged exposure to dioxins significantly raises the risk of cancers, particularly breast cancer and cancers of the reproductive organs, casting a shadow over maternal well-being. When it comes to infants, they are particularly at risk from dioxins. These harmful chemicals can affect babies from the womb through early infancy, leading to various health problems, including developmental issues, growth delays, and learning disabilities. Dioxins can cross the placental barrier during pregnancy, accumulating in the fetus, which can cause birth defects and neurological problems. After birth, babies exposed to dioxin-contaminated breast milk may face numerous challenges such as attention deficits and behavioral issues. Additionally, dioxins weaken their immune system, making them more prone to infections. In light of these serious concerns, it is crucial to take action to reduce dioxin exposure and protect the health of nursing mothers and their babies. We need comprehensive measures to mitigate this risk and ensure a healthy future for our children. So let's go to reporter Zach to continue explaining possible solutions of this problem.
Let's take closer looks at the ongoing efforts to address the threats of dioxins. It is a complex issue that requires a comprehensive approach. Firstly, there is the need of stringent regulations to control industrial emissions and ensure food safety standards are met. Then, there are the investments in advanced pollution control technologies and better waste management to practice to minimize the dioxin contaminations. Additionally, the shift towards sustainable agriculture methods and renewable energy sources hold promise in reducing exposure risk. But it's not about regulations and technology. Educating consumers about dioxin source and promoting informed food choice particularly important for the health of nursing mother and infants, which is also crucial. Beyond that, there are calls for collaborations among scientists, policymakers, and healthcare professionals and community leaders to address the various challenges posed by the dioxins. Furthermore, it is essential to acknowledge and tackle the underlying socio-economic disparities and environmental justice issues that contribute to the dioxins contaminations. This involves ensuring equitable access to clean water, air, and foods for all individuals irrespective of their socio-economic status and background. Research and innovations play a significant role too. Investing in research initiative and education program is vital to advance our understandings of dioxins and develop effective strategy for detections, monitorings, and remediation. Okay, so thank you for joining us. We hope this information have raised the awareness about the hidden dangers of dioxins in our food supply and the urgent needs for protective measures. Stay tuned for more updates and advice on how to safeguard your life and health of your loved ones. That's all from us.